which was the original thing that we did here, where we were set a brief to work on here for about 3 weeks to a month, and we could do it in our own time. And then the semi-final,
That was
we
in
had
June.
to go, which was in June.
Yeah, I remember it being in June.
We had to go to London, Carshalton College, because there were 2 separate ones. There was one for London, for people like us who live in the southeast or near London. And because there were people, Matthew in the final, he came from Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
And lots of other people came from up north. So they had another semi-final in Manchester, just so they didn't have to travel as far.
Nerve-wracking, I think, because I was just like, I didn't feel like I belonged in that group, because I was looking at their works before, because we had like, it was all on behalf, and I was just like, I am nowhere near as good and as talented, but being there in the environment, you're like, well, actually, I am in the top 8, and like, it's kind of, you don't feel like you're good enough, but you realise you are when you're there, because you're looking at these 8 other people. And you're just like, oh, okay, maybe I am good enough to be here.
All we had seen in the build-up for it was just their work and nothing else. We didn't know the people at all, so we were just like, oh, right, we're up against it here. But after we got to know everyone.
It was the first day, literally. We made friends instantly, because we all sat down for dinner except for 2 of the other boys who weren't staying at the same hotel, and we all just bonded instantly. We then started a group chat, and then it was just really, we just all gelled really quickly, and I think that helped me definitely, because I wasn't as stressed or as worried, because I knew they were in the same boat, and they were stressing as just as stressed and worried as I was.
And there wasn't anyone being too competitive, anyone being too like silent and to the cards to their chest. Everyone was just open with each other, and it just made it a nicer experience when everyone was mates.
So we started off with the brief, which was a bit disorganised and a nightmare, but we all managed to wrap our head around it. It took a lot of hours, us all going, but what does this mean, or what do they mean by this? But eventually, together, like as a collective mind, we all figured it out. And then, so they were asking for a logo for this employability boot camp, which they wanted to help young people be employable, basically, and track their skills on what to do in job roles and stuff like that. So they wanted a logo, a journal where they could track and write down how they've done these skills, and then a piece of packaging that will hold the journal and stuff they need, like pens and pencils and a memory stick, so that everything's together in a nice little box.
And it all had to follow the same sort of branding. Like with the logo, we had to come up with 3 different logos, but with the one that we chose, like for example, I did an arrows thing, I put arrows everywhere. So the packaging also had arrows on it, and the brochure also had arrows on it. It was just to show that we knew how to copy branding onto different items.
But we also had to keep it true to the company that had set the branding, so it all looked, all of our designs ended up looking very similar, but we were also intently following this brand guideline we were given by the company, which was called the Ideas Foundation, who then had a sub-company called Employability Bootcamp, and that's what we were designing for.
Originally, we're talking about one of the challenges about it. Originally, in years before, when Jess and Joe had done it last year, the topic was just something like space, for example, where
they made
for
a board
creatives
game.
like us, you can think about anything to do with space, and it's really easy. But when you're given a branding guideline from Ideas Foundation, where you've got to stick with these certain colours, this certain look, this certain feel, it brought more of a challenge to us. We're trying to do things with that guideline as well, and it was different.
Which helped us quite a lot, because then we were getting used to following the guidelines and following and understanding how you design to fit a company specifically, because we haven't had much experience of doing that here. But I left for the summer at the end of July, thinking I didn't want to do graphics anymore, and I was just like, I'm just going to go get my UCAS points and I'm going to go off and do teaching. So when I came back this year, I was less motivated to do the work, because I didn't see the point when I didn't want to do it. And then World Skills kind of highlighted that I probably am good enough to do graphics, because I did make it to top 8, and it's kind of pushed me to follow my graphics route instead of my teaching route now. So I'm looking at going to uni for graphics and working really hard to get all my sketchbooks back up where I was slacking last term. Schools have decided to come in, because there's like workshops for apprenticeships and employability as well there, and like careers advice, and they were obviously just like looking around the place, but there was thousands of kids running everywhere, plus like normal pedestrian public just like who have just come in.
Anyway.
So it was really loud, and then there were music stages and theatre performances going on, and there was just lights and sounds everywhere. The lights in the NEC themselves are very yellow, so that was really straining on your eyes.
We made sure we kept hydrated throughout the whole thing, because we always had a massive light on top of us. was tough conditions, but I'm glad that we all sort of pulled through. Because
Yeah.
it shows that we can work in that sort of environment.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, like people that were doing bricklaying, people who were doing roof tiling, they're used to that sort of loud environment of being outside, of course. But with us, we're used to being in a quiet classroom
With
under
just
silence,
music.
with just music. So being in that situation was quite different for us. The whole sort of experience was quite new to me because, I mean, I'm used to living with both my parents and they've been parenting to me, and I've never had the chance to just be responsible for myself. So going away to Birmingham for a few days, having my own hotel room, living off my own back, packing my own bag, it was a good experience for me because nothing went wrong. I didn't crumble under the stress. It went well for me. So that makes me feel better about looking towards unis and moving away and having my own room, because I've had that experience, as well as world skills being good for my career. The whole idea of moving away for a few days was good for me.